Welcome back to Chicago by Night. Night falls over Chicago, the Windy City. It is 1991, and everything it's the world of darkness, so I guess that means it's not so good. This show is rated R for all sorts of reasons. We have occasional casual murder, we have various toxic relationships, we have the continuous struggle with the beast who is trying to make you do bad things.
And now we're about to murder a child. Sorry, be complicit of a child.
You could argue that whoever turned the child is the responsible party to begin with.
I hear you, but we are handing them over to authorities who will definitely kill them.
That is a distinct possibility. So, who do we have with us this time? How about that for an intro? And welcome to Myth Machine. Child murder is on the schedule, potentially. Oh dear,
Yeah.
why am I laughing?
I am El Duende, pronouns any all, and I'm playing as Tony Hernandez, the Bruja gangster.
Jan, I'm playing as Chris, the Toreador body artist.
I am Enda. I'm playing Cape Ready, cult leader, and diablerist.
I'm Roger. I'm playing Goldtooth Charlie, and Katie, former gangster, who currently has the conditions marijuana blood and alcohol blood. And is in no fit state for what is going on tonight.
Yeah. As you can tell, we only allow the highest humanity kindred within our coterie.
You should drink from one of the kids here. Then you'll get morphine blood as well.
Yes. Yeah, this is a great idea. Yes.
You'll -6 to all physical shit.
Like,
we're not under a kid.
Yeah.
You're our driver, right?
Let's get the full cocktail. Yeah. Okay, so last time when we met our friends, Leo, Sylvester will not be attending this session because Sylvester player has amazing other things to do. Unfortunately for us.
They got him.
Good for
They got
them.
him.
They got him, yeah. Darth Real Life offered something fun. We're very sad. Anyway, so Sylvester's ghoul Leo encountered a small, unnervingly pale girl named Becky crying tears of blood in the street, and that is not quite normal behavior for a child in any way, shape, or form. She had fangs. She spoke of a scary man who visited her St. Mary's orphanage, and apparently all the adults and children had fallen asleep. Sylvester was not in the best place, with the Malkavian Bane flaring up completely, gnawing hunger, all sorts of compulsions, but did decide to investigate anyway, and found the front desk orderly deeply asleep, and while Leo distracted Becky, Sylvester fed a little bit on this unsuspecting woman just to satisfy a hunger compulsion, discovering immediately that the blood was laced with a sedative, and so that Sylvester got drugged. Are we getting into what we do in the Shadows territory here with all the drugged up vampires? Sylvester reached out to the rest of the coterie, who were scattered across Chicago. Chris was flirting and dancing with a fellow Toreador Portia at the Succubus Club. Goldtooth Charlie was indulging in a rooftop rendezvous with Emily, the woman who is with Neely, and drank a little bit of her strong blood, realizing that she's in fact a ghoul. Tony Hernandez also feeding. There's a lot of feeding going on these nights, which is not strange. This is a game of vampires. He had some feeding done and then had just a joyride through the city streets for no reason except let's have some fun. Dex loved this. Kate was reporting the coterie's recent victory over the Sabbat to her Tremere superior, Mr. DeSable, and Kate returned back to the Haven, got the call from Sylvester, and got the rest of the coterie together. And you converged on the orphanage and learned from Becky about the scary man that had bitten well, a lot of the children, but no one except Becky has so far been embraced and turned into a vampire. Some children show signs of being fed upon, they're slightly anemic. Certainly, all the kids and the staff are drugged. And now you're faced with a terrible dilemma. Whoever turned Becky has been covering their tracks. Turning a child is a grave offense if you don't have permission. It's gonna be much harder to get a prince's permission to turn a child than anyone else. But exposing a potentially powerful kindred could also bring ruin upon you. There was a heated debate about morality, responsibility, and survival, and you decided against confronting the sire directly and to resolve an arranged meeting with the sheriff and present the child vampire to him. So the city's authorities could deal with this mess instead of you. Shall we call it the Pontius Pilate solution? You wash your hands of it?
No, no,
We
because
can't
we're
wash
not
our
going to wash
hands
our
of it.
hands with it.
What was that?
I said, I don't think I'm going to wash my hands of it.
We're not
fair.
washing our
Vampires,
hands
so we're
of
going to
the,
lick the blood off our hands.
Yeah, it's tasty blood, tasty child blood.
Jeez.
Yeah, we can't wash our hands of the situation. We are washing our hands of the deed.
Of the deed, yes.
But we are still morally, ethically fucked.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're monsters for this. And we
Well-
are going to hell. There is one.
I don't think we are.
You
'cause I
are
don't think we have
monsters.
souls at
That's
this point.
the theme of the game, isn't it? So, are we going to call on the sheriff then? I guess it is 2:30 in the night on this 3rd of July. It's the 3rd of July now. When you wake up, it's gonna be like before 4th of July, and then it's gonna be a big party all over the city with fireworks and everything. Okay, why didn't that react?
Great.
Let's go. No? Let's see. Who is here today? Oh, now it reacted. Is Sheriff going to... You have called Sheriff's pager. Now what are we gonna do?
Let's
Wait a minute.
wait
We
around.
said he had a big brick phone, didn't we?
I
He's
don't
gonna have
remember.
he's gonna have someone to... Yeah, he's an important kindred in the city. And
We've
he
also
might be...
spoken to him tonight, so
Yeah,
Yeah, he's going to get sick of what the sound of our voices.
and...
I doubt that.
He's an important kindred in the city. He needs to be easy to contact for the prince.
Pretty
and everything
obvious
else.
reasons.
For exactly,
Yeah, he's the cops. He
yeah.
needs to be contactable.
he is the cops. It's like calling 911 basically.
Yeah, 911, and they go straight to voicemail.
Yep,
But the
that's how
voicemail
we do
message
it
is
here.
only like 2 seconds long.
How things are going right now, that might happen pretty soon.
All right, so sheriff is going to answer on the brick phone that he owns. Because it's 1991 and you can walk around with a telephone in your pocket. How about that? That's not a pocket. It's going to be like
Sorcery!
in a bag. Or a trench coat pocket, possibly. But yeah, it's going to be Kyle answering for him.
He's
Kyle
ringing.
for Mr. Balthazar.
Yes, this is Miss Peretti. I need to discuss with the sheriff about a new addition. Someone was too eager and had some food before it was too ripe, and we've got a problem.
You can't... Oh, wait. He's going to just hand over... You will hear that he's handing over the receiver to the sheriff. Is someone talking about food or junk food or ripeness or I don't know what the fuck, sir. But it's for you. Yeah.
He's got to be understanding of code at this point.
That was Kyle's interpretation.
Yeah. Kyle's a bad secretary.
He's an amazing secretary. He's definitely there to take notes.
Doesn't matter if the boss can't read.
Exactly. I don't think any of you have ever mistaken Kyle's presence for the secretary who takes notes. He's definitely there to just give another set of hands.
Fists.
Yeah, hands and fists and guns to the sheriff as he's carrying out his sheriffal duties. Shooting a kindred doesn't kill, it's just superficial damage, but it's still lead downrange, and it's still gonna bother someone if you put enough
Yeah.
of them downrange.
It's also loud.
It's also loud, yeah. Unless you have suppressors, in which case it's slightly less loud.
Sheriff.
Sheriff, yes. He's answering on the other side. Who is this now?
It's Miss Peretti.
Miss Peretti, I'm so
We've
happy
hel-
to hear from you.
Yes, unfortunately, I doubt that will be like that at the end of the conversation. We don't know who did it, but someone ate some unripe fruit, and they seem to have left their impression on it. They seem to have done it to many of them, but one of them was changed by the experience. Do you understand what I mean?
Does he understand what you mean? Let's see. He's a
He should
smart
know
man.
we don't discuss vampire actual business
Yes,
over
he
phone.
understands. He might seem like a complete klutz sometimes, often really. More like a boorish bully, but he's smart enough to pick up what you're putting down. Yeah, shoot. Alright. What have the anarch... Oh, is this...
We don't know.
Okay. Anarchist...
It was at a claimed grocery store.
Alright. Where are you guys now?
Outside, but we can meet where you want to. It needs to be dealt with. We can't have unripe fruit spoiling the barrel.
Yeah, I can hear. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Miss Peretti, and I don't like it one bit. This...
Unfortunately, it's while we did find it, I think your job is to deal with these sort of things.
I am the sheriff. He says, if anything is a crime against our bylaws, I do need to deal with it, don't I? God damn it. You can hear him swear on the other line, on the other side there. So
Like,
where
the
are
sheriff's a
you
bad
at right
guy,
now?
but
Where do
also-
you... What was that?
Like, the sheriff's a bad guy, but also no one wants to deal with this.
And he's your bad guy now. Right?
Yeah.
The animosity from the early nights in Chicago is completely gone. You get along famously now, don't you? Just
Kate
great.
does. I think the rest of the party still wants to punch him in the face. Justifiably.
Oh yeah, no, he's a vile piece of shit. But this is the one moment where we're in agreement.
Give us an address and we'll drop off the expired supplies.
Very well. He'll hand you an address.
I'll see you there.
Euphemisms are just getting more and more unsettling.
I can't mention the orphanage. I can't mention children. I can't mention blood or any other kindred words. Like, he's just stepped in it by calling himself a sheriff, which is not great, but...
Which is not great.
Yeah, I hang up and tell everyone where we're going.
Yep. Who's driving? Is Sylvester gonna take a moment because he is...
I think maybe we get whoever's with us that isn't drugged up driving.
Yeah, Sylvester is drugged up on morphine right now and has a paranoia compulsion, so we're going to use that as a rationale for Sylvester exiting stage so that Sylvester, when Domic comes back to play Sylvester will no longer have a paranoia compulsion because Sylvester's been hanging out somewhere safe and just whimpering for a while.
I guess that means he takes his car with him, which means I guess I'll be driving my car because none of you fuckers are touching my wheel. So we're taking my car, I'm driving it, and yeah.
He's going to direct you to a service garage in the loop, which is somewhere on, I guess, Wacker Drive in Franklin.
Yeah.
How about that? Yeah, Franklin.
Tony, considering the very suspicious cargo, will definitely be driving carefully.
Yeah, and the very
Yes.
suspicious cargo is going to be in the car with you all. And it's not going to be that hard to convince her to go with you because it's a group effort and you're all talking to her. Yeah, she's just
I
looking
can't
at the...
interact with Becky from this point forward.
Very
Because
well.
everything I do will get a stain.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's a problem for you. You're just... So Kate is just sitting somewhere on the opposite side of the car. Is Kate even
Ignoring
coming
Becky in
with?
any way, shape, or form.
Is Kate even coming with at this stage, or
Yeah, no, she has to.
she has to? Okay. I think the good news is that because you're vampires, the effects of drugs leaves your body pretty quickly. So by the time you catch up with the sheriff downtown, the morphine effect will have left your body. And so will the other bloods that Goldtooth Charlie has. So you are sobering up. Isn't that nice to know?
Wouldn't have taken that many more of us to be high and Becky would have to drive.
I guess. So, yeah, you're gonna turn up by the garage, and as your vehicle is coming there, someone, you don't know who it is, waving you in. It's a mortal that is working for the sheriff, and you're gonna get in there, and Sheriff and Kyle are gonna be there. And, I mean, we all know and love... He's not hostile anymore. He's friendly and loves you guys now, right? Because you're not horrible anarchs that he has to chase.
I think Kate has a positive, or a neutral / slightly positive relation with the sheriff. And I think most of the other gangster members of the coterie are at best neutral.
Yeah. I don't know. Charlie, Chris, Tony, what are your feelings towards the sheriff and Kyle at this stage?
Tony's feelings about the sheriff are, he basically sees him as a capo, someone to follow orders from.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that tracks quite well, doesn't it? Yeah, sheriff is standing there. Kyle is also standing there. He has a long leather duster that is big and wide enough for him to conceal submachine guns and other hardware underneath in case he would need to break them out. And as always, he is looking around for trouble and therefore not paying so much attention to the car and what's inside it. That's for the sheriff to deal with. And out you come with Becky.
Once the garage door is closed and everything, yeah.
Alright, hold on. Out of game. Here's like some background noise. Roger?
It's Roger's fan.
Okay. Roger.
Oh yeah, I can see the green thing coming around me, but I can't actually hear anything. I'm just
Yeah,
going to
it's
mute
like
and
a
then
fan.
go turn back on, see if that fixes it.
Very well.
It sounds like a fan.
A little bit, maybe.
Well, if it
Who's
was
coming out of the
extortion,
car
it's a signal.
first? Chris, are you coming? Are you the face of the group? You were a pretty face of the group, aren't you?
Okay, I'll go out first, sure.
Mr. Keller, he says.
Mr. Balthazar, sorry
Shakes your
for
hand.
disturbing your night again. But this was a situation.
This is better be
Which we
good.
felt
I'm trying to track
it was a-
down leads from
Yes, but when there's a break of the traditions, it's our duty as members of the Camarilla to report it to the sheriff, right?
Damn straight
And
it is.
and I definitely suspect that this is the break of the don't create new vampires tradition.
Oh man, he says. What have they been up to now?
At this point, Tony will be getting out and opening the door for Becky.
And Becky's coming out. And yeah, the sheriff will look at her, look at you guys, look at her. Oh,
Kate's
mean-
just sitting in the car, just like,
fucking
Glaring.
hell, he says. What?
All we know is it's a man wearing a suit. So far, that's all we know so far.
This has
He's
gotta
visiting
be.
the orphanage nightly. I
This
believe
is-
this was an accident.
An accident, my foot, he says. This was one of them fucking anarchs or one of the fucking Sabbat doing this.
Probably.
Yeah, he's not a happy guy right now.
So, she's. You still need, even though you're the sheriff, you would still need Lodin's permission to destroy a vampire.
saying this in front of Becky.
Oh, she's with Tony.
So
Yeah.
you guys are all in the garage, standing around a car.
You still need his permission to take drastic measures, right?
Yeah, Tony will whisper to Becky, he's not talking about you.
Roll deception.
It's just like suspiciously
Exactly.
specific denial.
Yes.
Very specific denial, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what else to say to that.
Kate's avoiding this by not talking to the child.
The sheriff is going to react to this by just actually blowing a gasket and start just destroying things around him. Just throwing things around himself. He's taking special care here not to hit any of you. And
Reasonable crash out.
yeah, but yeah, you hear him just snarl. And for those of you looking, you can see he loses it. The fangs out and everything, and he just grabs whatever is around and throws it. And if I roll low on this one, Tony, there might be some damage to your car. Because I don't think he's paying attention.
So what was the number?
You are a lucky man. Fine.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, he's throwing stuff around him, and it turns out that none of the stuff actually hits your car. But I think there's going to be a couple of hubcaps and probably a tire going through the windshield of another car of this garage, and it's just going to glass is just going to explode. And he's going to take an entire shelf and just throw it somewhere with spare parts and tools just clattering across the ground as he collects himself, because why the fuck do I have the unluck to live in this god-awful place of all places? This is the greatest city in North America, and this is...
Kate's
He
gonna step out of
settles
the car
himself,
now.
finally. He calms down. God damn it, to hell and back again. That is... I'm gonna need to talk to... There's been some times in the past when Prince Lodin has given permission for, shall we say, unusual embracing, and I was not informed, but it has improved since. I'll need to double check him. God damn it. Kyle, dial the number for me. Kyle will.
Charlie will say, in the face of the sheriff being extremely stressed out, Charlie will remain dead cool and calm. And I'll say 3 interrelated issues here. We expect the vampire who did it will be back over the next night or 2. We can go back, stake the place out, catch them, probably no problem. There's a couple of extra issues. If Becky isn't back there by tomorrow morning, there's going to be a missing child and there's going to be police all over the place. Related to that, Sylvester called all of us from the phone at the orphanage. So if that happens, from the place where our child went missing, there's been phone calls made to us. So this can get out of control very quickly.
Sheriff is just
I
looking at
think I
all
can
of
fix
you.
that.
Yeah, you could fix it with a hacking roll to I guess to alter phone records somehow. Couldn't you?
Or I could just get the... If I went back to the place, I could just pour the bottle of something on the phone to destroy it.
Oh, yeah.
Suppose the guard, like she accidentally spilled it.
That won't remove the records from the phone company.
No.
And if there's a missing child, that is something they're going to check.
Possibly. I don't think... Cause we're just in this weird technological, ditch where things aren't connected enough for me to be able to do anything really. But also, aside from breaking into a building, another one, I don't think we can just fix that problem.
Thankfully, it was just a call to Kate.
It's our haven.
Yeah, it was called to the Haven.
Fuck.
So you would need to have physical access to like the switchboard and databases.
Which is why having high technology is pointless in this era.
Yeah, yeah. It's not pointless, but it's pointless for that particular thing. Yeah.
High technology gives you the knowledge of how fucked you are.
So you'd have to basically.
I think maybe I'll leave that. I'll ask the sheriff that. Yes, one of our
track down the
coterie did.
yeah.
One of our coterie did reach out to our haven. If we have any assets, I'm assuming we do, and various switchboards around the city. If we could use those to erase that particular record.
Yeah, this is tech stuff, ain't it? Says Sheriff, who is definitely not striking you as a technologist or engineer in any way, shape, or form. I thought you well. As for the companies, Ballard will have access to those. He has all his fingers with all the corporate sector of this city. And I suppose for technology, we could always ask Mr. Weatherbottom. I'm sure he can, if the prince asked him nicely, he can go to and do whatever he does with his computer
Yo.
things.
This, at the moment, is a people problem, Sheriff. We just need someone in one of these buildings to erase something.
Erasure, we're good at. He has been, Kyle's been dialing the number to the prince, but the prince has
Very
not been
long
picking
number.
up yet.
It's a very long number, yeah. And the
Well,
25th
Kyle has
of-
been listening to the ring signals going through, and he's just looking at the sheriff. Sorry, sir, his office isn't picking up right now.
Okay, there is one option to delay all hell breaking loose. What we can do is get somebody to go around to the orphanage in daylight and tell most of the truth. Say that some Becky was found wandering the streets at night. She's with social services now. They'll be just Becky now.
Tony grabs your shoulder. Tony grabs your shoulder. And he says, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Trying to prevent a citywide manhunt from starting.
This is a
It's what happens when girls go missing.
What about your...
hundreds of people, and a lot of kids go missing in this city every day. The rich
Yeah,
ones get searched for.
It's a city of 1 million people, man.
3 million.
3 million people.
Okay, but like in 1990s, is it 1 million or 3 million?
I think it's 3 million in 1991.
Right. You know what? Fuck it. I'm just gonna say that Tony didn't know that. Okay.
Also,
I
don't
didn't realize-
think that the people who run the orphanage will want to draw attention to this. 'Cause the first question is, who was on watch? And they go through and everyone was asleep. It's a sad thing, but she wasn't the child of a rich person. There's not going to be a citywide manhunt.
Sheriff is just looking at some of you and or all of you and shit.
You've dealt with this sort of thing before, Sheriff?
He can't admit that he hasn't dealt with this sort of thing before. It's an orphanage, for crying out loud.
Then try lying.
He's definitely gonna lie. He's gonna be like, don't you worry about a thing. I've dealt with all sorts of shit in my days, and this is just another...
Great, Sheriff. In that case,
Thrown
we'll leave it
in
all in
my
your
place.
capable
But,
hands.
yeah,
For the else of us, we should go. Right? You're very
Okay,
capable
this
of
is
dealing
gonna
with
be a
this.
social combat, Kate Peretti. You're gonna have to manipulate him into taking things. Yeah, and he's gonna be trying to not be manipulated that way by... What are we doing here? I think I'm gonna rely on his resolve this time more than his manipulation, though they're both kind of decent. And he's a one-track pony, isn't he? So it's gonna be intimidation.
I'm gonna counter with subterfuge because
Yep.
that's what this is.
Yep.
Wow, I
So
feel
I get
awful
to add
for
or.
never felt before.
Or should I add or not?
It's
Can
up to
I?
you. He will know what it is. He's a Bruja.
I'm
that,
taking
that doesn't
Ireland-
necessarily mean you can detect it. You need you need all specs to sense it. So, fine, why not? I want to get out of this situation.
Okay. They change things all the time for me. I like the color of those dice. They are.
I was about to say, I really like what you did with the dice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I recolored and textured
Okay.
them.
That's a lot. Did we do your... You have to do your manipulation presence first, right? To activate...
What do you mean?
Because he gets to resist your awe. So you roll your... Let's see now. It is...
There's a resistance roll for all?
There is a resistance roll for awe. You roll your... At least for vampires. Anyone aware that they're being affected can try to resist with it. Okay, that's fair. So composure, intelligence versus manipulation presence. Apparently he's not aware, so very sad.
Be fair, I don't have much ore, so it's not... I've got 2 dots, but
Yeah, it's something, isn't it? Okay.
it's something. And also, I am currently flattering him by saying he can handle this, so...
You
Probably
are.
wants to hear that.
I guess he's going to be... Is he taking Becky then? And now he has to babysit the baby vampire? Who is literally a baby vampire, except it's not a baby, it's an 8-year-old child. But if she was
I'll
made
offer
a
to
week
watch her
ago-
for the night.
No, I look and glare at Chris the second he starts opening his mouth. I am so close to getting us out of this fucked situation. You are not dragging us back into this.
Apparently
continue.
you are going to succeed in convincing the sheriff that he is going to take care of everything. So...
He said he can handle it.
30 stains for all of us.
Chris,
He
if
had
you just
3
said,
successes.
"Oh, yeah,
It's so
I
close.
got us out of it."
It's not even close.
How many stains would we have got for killing Becky compared to how many stains we get to leaving Becky with a redneck sheriff?
At this point, you don't know what her fate is going to be, so
It's very obvious, though.
it is very obvious, isn't it? Provided that Lodin has
I
not
would-
given permission, she will be staked for the sun.
Yeah, honestly, I would say it's so obvious we should all take stains. At the very least, Kate should take stains because of her conviction that she's breaking.
She is breaking her conviction, aren't you? You haven't exposed children to violence yet. And
Sure.
I kind of have by handing her over to the sheriff.
yes, you have. Okay, but okay.
Also, everyone's violated thought and compassion separates us from the beast.
Yes, but you're not doing the murder, so how much are we giving
Yeah, but this
here?
isn't compassionate.
No, it's not compassion at all. So we can give at least one stain for that, and maybe 2 more for Kate Peretti for that thing. So that's 3 in total for Kate.
I will also add that Charlie
Just one-
tried to pull this off by at least one more night, but nobody else wanted to listen.
Wait, literally just 1 stain for me? That's it?
If you want
Till she
more,
gets
I can
killed.
give them to you.
Look, I'm just saying, this is evil enough that it should probably be at least 2 stains.
Does everybody agree that it is 2 stains?
Feels like 2 stains.
I
Okay.
feel like 2 stains now and 2 stains when we find out whether she gets killed or not.
Very well.
This
2
is
stains
an
it is.
evil action we've done.
Yeah, it's not the best situation, is it? Okay,
Although,
so you have.
It has been
Oh, to be
reduced
fair,
1
Charlie.
stain. It has been reduced to 1 stain for me because of the
Oh,
strong will do
yeah.
it, they will to the weak.
Because something is wrong with you.
Yeah, because Tony is a fucking monster, man.
He is.
He's a
Not with
fucking
your humanity
Which
levels, you're not.
should logically lead to him losing losing humanity faster, not
Yeah.
slower. But here we are.
Like, yeah, currently, Tony acts like he's the same level of humanity as Kate,
Yep.
but he's twice that.
Not quite, but yeah. No, he only has 1 more than you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because last session.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm at humanity
But
5.
Charlie, also, we gave pretty good reasons why we can't just let a vampire play dead
Oh, absolutely.
in an orphanage for a day.
Yep.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
look.
no, it was an
Fucking
impossible.
orphanage employee number 37. Oh, look, there's a child. Oh, the
They're not
child's-
breathing.
The child's dead. They're not breathing.
Yeah.
I fucking opened the curtains. The child's on fire!
It will be another story about spontaneous combustion.
Which
Uh,
could possibly kill
which-
other members of the
Which will
orphanage.
not at all attract the attention of any vampire hunters in the city.
Yeah, actually,
Alright.
how hot do vampires get when they burn in the sun? Like, how big a fire can they start?
That is a good question that the game has never bothered to answer.
I feel like whatever's combustible around them, like if they're on fire when someone pulls a curtain and they're in bed, the bed's gonna burn, and that could spread.
I'm not going to answer it right now because it's not pertinent. Anyway,
5 days.
you have handed over Becky, and yeah, there might be some echoes in the back of your minds about what you've just done. But here we are.
As we get back in the car
Yeah.
and we're heading out, unless anyone else wants to talk to the sheriff, she's just gonna lean over to Chris and was like, "What the fuck were you thinking?"
I don't know.
What was the positive outcome of you taking care of her for another night?
She get to have not be around for another night. Maybe I could, if I met Lodin, maybe I could convince him not to destroy her. It's
You
not her
could
fault
do
she was
that.
created.
I doubt he's going to rush this decision. He has time. You could do that, but knowing the sort of lifestyle you lead, I don't think having a child tag along would be good.
In the
And I'm
front
not
of the
babysitting her at the Haven.
If we find who's her sire, we could force their sire to take care of them. That's how
Maybe.
it works.
Yeah, I think I would like to do some incredible violence to that person.
I know
But-
that. No, yeah.
Until we find out who that is, the more interactions we have with Becky, the worse it's going to be for us.
Become a vampire, they said. It'll be fun, they said. You'll live forever and party
Who the
all
fuck
night.
told you it would be fun?
Sophia.
They gave you
actually-
you got a choice?
No. I was joking. You know how people say, join the Navy.
Why are you
Word.
joking around? A kid's about to fucking die. What the fuck is wrong?
It's called gallows humor. Gallows humor. Look it up.
Gallows humor is for the person on the gallows.
Well, we're dead, so
What the
we're
fuck is
beyond
my
that
brother
already.
audience watching.
Dex is
Okay,
just
I
staring
need
into the
to
distance.
not be alive for the next 12 to 16 hours. So I'm
Okay.
heading back to the Haven, and I don't want to deal with any more of you tonight.
Okay.
Chris,
That's fair
Charlie, Tony, do you want to deal with anyone else tonight, or is this going to be a long, very quiet ride in the car back to the Haven?
Since Charlie's got an apartment in the Loop, he'll get off here and just go up to his old mortal life apartment and try and forget this night ever happened.
That makes sense. Tony, where are you going?
Tony's fucking furious, and is probably gonna fucking just go somewhere to bash up some bullshit to blow off some steam.
That makes
Haven't you
sense.
already fucked over a person tonight?
Yes, he has. As you are, because Dex is with you, Tony, he's always with you.
Aww.
Yeah, he's a faithful ghoul. He's with his boss. That's what he does. He'll, when you get back to Pilsen, he'll be looking at you, and as Kate has left the car, as Chris, I guess Chris goes back to his own haven, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jen. And
Oh
Charlie-
yeah, Chris isn't going back to his own haven. Not tonight. It's too, like it's still dark, right?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be dark for another couple of hours.
yeah.
It's
Chris
like
will.
3 a.m.
Chris, what time did you say it is? Sorry,
3 a.m.
3 a.m. I guess Chris will go back to what he was doing before he got so really interrupted. He's going to see if Brendan Thornhill is still at his club.
Oh, yeah, that could happen. Dex is with you, Tony, and as you're driving away and everybody else is going their separate ways, he's just, shit, boss, that sucked.
I don't want to talk about it.
He's just, sure, boss. And he's, yeah, there's going to be a lot of silence there like this. He's just muttering to himself. Can I pop a cap in this fucker's ass when we find him?
Damn right.
That makes him a little bit happier, a little bit more pleased.
Yeah, no, Tony's definitely is committed to the idea that if we find this guy, we're just killing him, regardless of whether or not he actually broke any rules.
He definitely did break the don't create a vampire rule.
Yeah, that doesn't mean we can kill him, but yeah.
Yeah.
I have a life boon that I'm willing to spend to kill his ass, though.
Where are the Lodin's laws listed, just to see if they have anything specific about this apart from the traditions?
No, he does not have anything apart from the because
I do know that if he did break this tradition, it does legally say that we can kill him, though.
oh yeah,
it's,
No,
um,
it says Lodin can make Lodin can say his life's free game, but that doesn't mean we decide whether he can die.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
I hear you. But Tony is sure hoping that Odin gives the go-ahead on his life.
Yeah, if there's a blood hunt on this guy, that's gonna be good. But if there isn't, the most we can do is physically assault him.
I have
Again,
a feeling there's going to be some kind of situation there. But we're going to the Succubus Club because that's where Chris is going.
You're gonna have to be asleep in an hour.
It's okay, I can...
Going from downtown to the Succubus Club takes a maximum half an hour. So yeah, it's gonna close very soon. But yeah. Who are you looking for here?
Brendan Tornell, the guy who runs the school.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna be there. Though he might be up at his penthouse, but of course you have VIP privileges by now. There's almost nobody here because the place it's a Wednesday night and so on. It's gonna close. It probably closes at around 4. Thornton has bribed the right city authorities so he can stay up. He can keep his club up as long as possible because Neely runs the city hall and the permits that are given out. So if there's one nightclub owner around here who doesn't have a problem with staying up for as long as he possibly wants to, it's gonna be him. But I guess he's gonna receive you in the VIP lounge then, provided that he's available. He might have business going on. You never know. There are
I'll wait if
sometimes...
he's got business going on.
What was that?
I said I'll wait if he's busy at the moment.
He was not busy, in fact. Since you're asking for him, and yeah, the local staff will connect you, and he's gonna... You can see, in fact, Capone leaving the nightclub together with some of his goons. I guess he gives you a curt nod because he knows you exist, but...
I'll tip my hat,
Oh
metaphorically.
yeah, you better. He has all the status that you don't have. He's one of Lodin's eldest childer. He's just
He's
one
only been
step
dead
below the
50
primogen.
years.
But Mr. Thornhill will receive you up in the VIP lounge. Mr. Keller, how are you this night? Are we
Not good. Not good at all.
using the last little bit of nighttime for a nightcap? You're free to any other mortals around here, of course, as always.
No, I'm not here on pleasure, I'm afraid. This is strictly business. We can agree that when Mr. Neely was last in your club, he was acting rather strange.
Yes,
And-
we can.
And he said something that stuck with me. He said that the girl he went for isn't to his taste. So what would make you are in the Kings Simpson. So what would make someone from the clan of Kings hunt someone who isn't their preferred subject? Do you know, like, what could have motivated him to act so strangely? Do you know what he usually feeds on?
Thornhill will smile. He's always charming, isn't he? That's an interesting question you're asking. Are you
Like
sure you
8
want to
times.
poke
That's
your
an
nose
appropriate
into
question.
Neely's business and into
He
venture
came into my
affairs?
business. He disturbed and your business. He almost called a masquerade breach in your club, Mr. Thornhill, and he nearly killed an asset that that I've put time and energy into this asset, and he nearly took this asset from me. So he put himself into my business.
Fair.
I just want to find out why he did it. And Mr. Thornhill, you should be worried too. This club, he just walked in. He disrespected you. You should be angry at him.
Who says I'm not, he says. Are we doing a charisma persuasion check here to learn
Sure.
some Ventress secrets?
Yes. Look, Mr. Wait, before I roll, I want to say, look, Mr. Toronto, I'm not going to say anything as gross as you might technically owe me a favor for preventing a Masquerade Breach, but just have that in the back of your mind.
This is.
Oh,
He's
that's the worst thing you could have tacked on.
Are you trying to exercise extortion on me, Mr. Keller? Of course you're not in my
No,
domains.
I said I wouldn't say that.
No, you wouldn't say
see?
that. This is true.
Never
That is
change,
why.
Jan. Never change, you weird motherfucker.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
very
I'm
wise
not
of you.
threatening your legs. I just said it would be a shame if someone had to lose their ability to walk. I'm not threatening you.
Yeah, you could be technically threatening your spine.
Yeah, I'm not threatening your reputation by saying you owe me a boon, even though you're much higher status than I am. And I'm trying to get secrets on a person even higher status than both of us.
So, why don't you roll your
I swear to God, they made Jan in a lab to be the funniest guy.
charisma subterfuge, apparently?
It's my persuasion. I'm being straight up.
Oh, okay, you're being straight up. That's fair. Okay, let's go with
Like-
It's not smart, but it's fair.
that. It is fair, yeah.
Yeah, there was nothing subtle about that.
Not really, no. You don't know the difficulty. It depends on what he rolls for his composure subterfuge.
You won't even know whether you succeed or not, depending on how it goes.
I think
Well,
I'll
that was-
reroll that.
You know what? To be fair, considering what you tagged on there, it makes sense that you failed. Why the fuck did you even
I can
say
see Chris digging deep into his willpower for this one.
I don't. This guy runs a vampire nightclub. I think he's gonna have the charisma stats down pat.
Chris, you're gonna get staked.
He's not gonna get staked.
He's gonna
He's
get
just
staked.
building a reputation as a person who sticks his nose where it doesn't belong, very publicly.
That's how you get staked.
No, that's how you get negative reputation.
Yeah, and people with negative reputation get staked.
Thornhill is looking at you, Chris. Still always the charming and suave gentleman, still smiling. Mr. Keller, we are on something of an impasse, but I'll tell you this much. I didn't like it much more than you did. And for once, his smile actually wavers and comes off his face for a moment. You're right, it was a Masquerade Breach right there on the floor of my nightclub in my domain, and you better believe that I've been raising the issue at the board meeting, or will when the next board meeting comes around, certainly. These things have to be handled with some care, Mr. Keller, because you're talking about the seneschal of the prince, and I am not at the same level of confidence with the prince that he is. So both of us have better watch our necks, lest the prince faults us for the Masquerade Breach, which he could do. The Masquerade Breach happened in my domains, which technically makes it my responsibility that I could not police my own domains. It's gonna look bad for me, wouldn't it? I'm sure you don't want to have a situation like that. What is your business again?
Gymnasiums.
Gymnasiums. So if a kindred came into one of your gymnasiums and did something bad like that, you might find yourself in a similar position, wouldn't you, Mr. Keller? I will not speak to what are the selective preferences of Mr. Neely. It would be very impolite and it would breach protocol and traditions within the clan, and it's not something I can do. easily. I can only say that if we are to entertain the hypothetical, Mr. Keller, what could compel Aventru to hunt something that is not his particular preference? Either a great deal of hunger, too much to bear, the point of which you're no longer thinking straight, where there's only the beast and the red haze and nothing else. Desperation, Mr. Keller. Or the piercing gaze could get you to do it. If there is a stronger kindred out there.
Wrong. But Mr. Neely is one of the strongest members of your clan, right?
He's as strong as I am in the blood. We're both children of Lodin. Though he has age that I do not have.
What do you know about this? I'll stay away from his feeling, but what do you know about what he's like as a person? Does he strike you as someone who could fall to the domination discipline due to low moral fiber or low character?
That's not how the piercing gaze works, Mr. Keller.
You'd
No,
be
it's,
better expert than me.
Oh, of course not. You are of the Clan of the Rose. You're not habituated to those talents, are you? No, it has little to do with that. It has to do with your own inner strength, your power of will, the strength of your blood, and the strength of the blood and the skill of the one who is trying to use it on you. If they are very powerful, but who in the city would be powerful enough to control Mr. Neely through the piercing gaze, through the power of domination? That would be Prince Lodin. I could think of possibly one or two members of the Primogen, and that would really be it.
But not if Neely has low willpower within himself, if you understand me.
Oh yeah, I understand you. If he's worn out, if he's had... But who would want to do this? These accusations here, this is... I'm sure that Mr. Ballard and Mr. Capone, who are both strong in their own right, could pull something like that off. But I never seen any reason why either of them would do that to Mr. Neely. Their beef is with each other, not with the Princess Seneschal.
Yes, but that is the deeper mystery. And if he was dominated, which might be likely because his personality changed quite drastically once he was under control.
You know what it could be? What I could imagine it could be?
Go ahead.
Grandma O'Leary. Malkavians have similar powers as us over domination of the human mind and the kindred mind. And she's an elder. As far as I know, she was embraced in the 19th century, so she would be about the same age as Mr. Neely, if not older. And so I think she would be strong enough to do it. And who knows what goes on in a Malkavian mind. Maybe she's doing it to make a point to Prince Lodin in some kind. Could be a Malkavian prank.
That's what you're... So, thank you for the conversation. I'm sorry. I'm glad that we were able to come to amicable discussion.
Of course.
Even though...
Of course, Mr. Keller.
Goodbye, Mr. Thornhill. Perhaps I'll see you another night.
Sleep during the day, Mr. Keller.
Okay.
I should have
I guess I'll
added
go.
the status die for Thornhill in this confrontation, and I forgot to do that, but that's okay. Anyway, what is Goldtooth Charlie? You were you going home? No, you were not going home.
Yeah,
Remind me.
Charlie has gone home, and what he's going to do for the rest of the night is because
Home as in
3
the group
experience.
chantry?
What was that?
Home as in the group chantry? Group haven? Gee. I don't
no,
need
it's-
coffee, you do.
No, Charlie's going home to his apartment in the Loop.
Oh, yeah.
And what he's going to do for the rest of this night is just stare at himself in the mirror, get a cigarette lighter, and snap the flame on in front of himself, and just keep his face expressionless as he does it over and over again. Because I've got 3 XP to spend, and I'm getting a speciality for subterfuge, masking.
Oh! Okay. Is everybody okay with him spending it right now?
Sure, fuck it. We've already broken this rule before.
I guess we have.
Why not?
Masking. There we have it.
Also, I'm gonna be honest. Even if we haven't broken the rule before, I'd say yes because this is
Or farming totally.
yeah. Look, World of Darkness. It's number 1 rule is rule of cool. If it's badass enough, allow it.
Allow it. And Kate, what are you devoting the rest of the night to? Just sitting staring at a wall somewhere?
Yeah.
Rennie will be there! Aren't you happy to see Rennie?
I love how bright the mood is.
I think, yeah, Rennie can take care of herself.
As
I'm
you're
just
coming
gonna
back,
say
your room is spotlessly cleaned. She's
that's-
like, Miss Peretti, how good to see you.
It's
You
good
be
to
good
see you
this
too.
night. It's been good night for you, I hope.
Unfortunately not, but
Oh, terribly sorry.
tomorrow I will be probably doing some research. If you could put together information about St. Mary's, the orphanage, I'll peruse those when I wake again.
Of course, I do best.
Thank you.
Oh man, did you just ask her to do an investigation check for you?
She stays awake during the nights, during the day, so why not?
Why not? Okay.
She is also a researcher.
She is a researcher, but she is not a very good researcher, unfortunately, because
Why?
that's what it says on the lore sheet, that this level of Ducheski ghoul is weak as far as mortals go.
Oh,
But
so it's
she's-
basically a glorified maid.
Yes, but she's doing her level best. Here we go. Look at her go. She's gonna have 2 successes towards an investigation roll of some kind. Yeah.
I like
That's
Rennie,
fine.
even though she sucks.
To be fair, she does also have, like, blood sorcery.
She
And
does.
also-
Yes.
Okay, damn.
Yeah, she does also have blood sorcery.
And heightened senses.
Is
yeah.
probably quite old.
You might be older than Kate.
She has blood sorcery and heightened senses. So she
And
will
this
discover
golden-
every
and-
speck of dust in your room, and she will clean it. It's-
She does have good occult. That is one of the things. But
Alright.
yeah, that's what
So
Kate's
that
doing.
is- so the dawn will come, and you will all sleep. The sleep of. I'm not gonna say the righteous.
Sleep of the dead.
Yeah, the sleep of the dead. That is actually not a bad way of putting it.
Sleep of those who made it someone else's problem.
Exactly. Oh my.
Let's everyone get their remorse checks out of the way.
Isn't that end of session though? I think it's end of session.
Isn't it end of night?
Well, Ender already rolled.
Sorry, I thought the thing was end of night.
End of session.
Because you can't. Oh, my bad.
Or
Okay,
right.
sometimes after awaking a significant event. Yeah.
Because it just
Okay.
seems like weird that you can put off remorse for multiple days.
Yeah, that would be weird, wouldn't it? I always found the whole end of session rule a bit weird too. So yeah, feel free to roll your remorse. Tony is fine. So is Kate. Not fine. You're obviously feeling terrible about this whole ordeal, all of you. How is Chris doing?
I'm rolling humanity.
Damn.
One dice?
Yeah, because
I
he's very
pressed-
high humanity.
Oh.
And rouse the blood, please, everyone. Gold tooth is fine.
Did I rouse the blood? No, I did not.
You did not, nor did Chris.
Fuck.
Getting hungrier, Tony.
Oh, damn it. I closed the thing. Rose the blood. If I was a rich man. How do you rose blood again? Oh, yeah, here. I keep on mixing up rousing blood and resist frenzy, so for whatever reason.
Some of you are getting a bit hungrier tonight, aren't you?
Everyone.
Except Goldtooth.
Yeah, he's okay. The first
Okay.
one to wake, as so often, is going to be... Actually, everybody's waking at the same time. It's only if you have Humanity 8 that you wake before everyone else in this edition. So I'll start with Chris. You are at your gym, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm going to go straight to the orphanage.
Straight to the orphanage. Oh dear.
Yes.
Without...
What the fuck are you doing?
Allow it. Let's just.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not trying to stop it. I'm just saying to myself, what the fuck is he doing?
He's going straight to the orphanage. It's going to take him probably half an hour, 45 minutes to get there.
Yeah, and during that half hour, he never thinks to himself, "This is a bad idea."
That's okay.
No, because he wants to find out who
wants
the
to find
vampire
out
is
who's
that's doing
doing
this, and he
this.
needs to
Yeah.
get there as quickly as possible.
Charlie.
Oh yes, go alone so you can get jumped. All right.
That's the best way of
Charlie
going,
is
isn't it?
also Charlie is also going to the orphanage, but will go back to the Haven to pick up the surveillance van. Any other like bits of equipment like cameras, just in case we need a photograph of this guy. And we'll also pick up anybody else there who wants to come. And we'll go to stake out the orphanage to try and find this vampire when he comes back, assuming he does.
Very well. I guess that means that you're gonna run into Tony and Kate at the communal haven
Yeah.
sometime
I
around
guess-
9-ish in the evening.
Yeah, Tony will be just in his room, just thinking silently in the bathroom.
You have healed an aggravated wound over this day,
Yeah.
so good for you.
Yeah, Tony has not come out of his room yet. He's just looking at the mirror,
Okay,
just silently.
that makes sense. Dex is sitting outside your room, and you can hear him play with his gun a little bit, like he's just ready to go, basically. Charlie, you're rounding them all up. What is Kate doing at the early stages of the first half hour before Charlie arrives?
I think she's going to look over what Remy's put together. See, it's not much. Get disappointed.
Right. Yeah. It's Catholic run, answerable to the local parish, which technically means that it's... I mean, it needs to have permits from the city, so that would be Mr. Neely's way to influence it, if anyone wants to influence it. Being Catholic, you don't know that anyone specifically has domain over the Catholic Church in the city. the advertised capacity is...
I feel like that's something that would be known,
Oh yeah,
like generally, if there was such a person,
who has domain over the Catholic Church? Nobody.
or over religious institutions in the city.
No. There is not enough kindred who are interested in religious institutions in general. The only one you're aware of who would have any influence over a religious institution would in fact be the Nosferatu known as Nathaniel Brodruff, who you have probably never met. But
I've never met that person.
Do you think it's a combination of like most kindred either being atheist or believing themselves to be damned anyway, so it doesn't matter?
or
Funnily enough,
people wanna
most
stay away
most
from-
follow Cain.
people want to stay away from potential witch hunters. Also, the church doesn't have the power that it had a century ago, so vampires tend
there's
to
also
flock to institutions that are increasing in power, not decreasing in power.
it's
Got
not
it.
common.
You're saying
It's not.
that modern vampires are totally AI bros.
Probably,
Absolutely
yes.
not. A lot of people at the
Well,
Camarilla
it's an increasing
would follow
power.
Cain, even if not openly. There are a lot of vampire-specific religions. Just because they're not Christian doesn't mean they're not religion.
The childcare license is current. The last city inspection was done within the year. There's
no newspaper articles about it.
just
no-
about charity drives, food
I'll
bank
hold it up.
support, that sort of thing. It's
Okay.
generally unremarkable.
Thank you for putting that together.
Yes, miss.
Look at my maid, dog.
Could you also go to the chantry and if what's his name? One of my notes. Ballad hard. And if Garwood's there, ask for a copy of his educational materials so I can make some improvements. So I can look it over.
Yes, miss.
Thank you. And then I guess she's gonna gather the stuff Charlie wanted for technology, tech surveillance, and head off. She is quite hungry, but I feel like that's the state she wants to be in right now.
Okay.
It's not pleasant. She's jonesing. But also she doesn't want to tear apart a member of her own cult right now.
Well, at Hunger 3, she wouldn't, because she doesn't have to roll yet. It's Hunger 4 where you have to start rolling.
That's when things get wacky.
Yeah. So,
She doesn't want to be left out of whatever could happen.
that makes sense. All right. So you are all going to arrive at the orphanage, or outside the orphanage, I should say. And Chris is there first, right?
Probably by half an hour, at
Yeah,
least.
something like that. It's not a lot.
That depends on what he does there.
Yeah,
It depends on whether that's a lot of
fair. That
time.
depends on what he does there. Chris, what is your plan for being outside the orphanage at this particular time?
You want to sit in the van, pull out some binoculars, watch the kids?
No,
Bash
I'm
the door
gonna-
down, kill everyone. Wait, what?
somewhere in between. I'm going to walk in and seize the person awake or asleep.
Oh my gosh.
All right.
The idea was just like so bad. I was just like my visceral reaction.
Walk up to the locked door.
It's only gonna be like at 9
Well-
p.m. It is locked, isn't it? So
Fucking failed fear frenzy check there.
yeah, you're gonna.
You were about to justify why the door was open to the orphanage at 9 p.m.
I'm not gonna justify that.
Wasn't it?
That's not open at 9 p.m. Gee, it's an orphanage. Why would it be open at 9 p.m.?
It's not a 7-Eleven.
Exactly. There is an intercom button. Like they have like office hours and stuff, and there's an intercom button. And through the glass door, which is like slightly hazy, you'd be able to see, because sometimes they need to get night shift staff comes on, and they need to have people have to be awake in the orphanage to watch over the kids over the night shift, obviously. So you can see lights on in there, but it's not open for
I'm
the
going to
public.
press the intercom and say,
No.
All right. Yep. And say,
hello, this is a private detective. I'd like to interview who's ever in charge at the moment, please.
You're not going to
Okay.
give a name?
I'm afraid.
Okay.
I am generic policeman. Let me in.
This sounds like a charisma subterfuge at best, minus higher difficulty because you're talking through an intercom, and it's much easier to resist someone that way.
Also higher difficulty because the player's Jan.
No, we don't do that around here. But
Not by you.
oh,
Jan himself digs the hole
The difficulty is higher because of the choices that are made.
so it's gonna be a hard choice here. You're trying to convince them to let you in, and you're completely unknown. So 5 successes, please. Presence does not apply through an intercom buzzing.
It
thing.
doesn't? I thought it did. I
No.
thought if they can hear your voice.
There's a special power
Yeah, there's a special
that
presence
if you
power
grab
that
it, it's
allows
like
you to-
Melanore or something like
Yeah,
that. That allows it to work.
Melnipomy or something. It's the one that the
Melnipony.
Daughters of Cacophony had once upon a time when they were a
Yeah,
separate
basically,
bloodline.
it means it just requires voice,
Yeah.
whereas presence normally requires voice and visual.
Yeah.
But even then, I think it's like a 5th tier power that allows it to work through technology. Like that power just allows you to work through like closed doors or against people who can't see you.
I might.
3 successes
Willpower.
because we're
That's
blood
willpower
surging
willpower.
here.
Uh,
The
Two.
person on the other end will be like, opening hours is between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m. I'd advise you to come back then and talk to the director.
Please, this is a time-sensitive situation. I'm investigating on behalf of a battered woman.
Listen, sir, I can't let you in at this hour. I'm terribly sorry. You'll just have to come back during the day. Click. You tried.
I did try.
You did try.
I like how you were thinking up a cover story as you were speaking. Like you had time.
Chris isn't a plan ahead kind of person. He's
No, he's not. But that's
Jan
okay.
isn't a plan ahead kind of person.
So I guess
Oh,
that
that
means
was-
that the rest of you all, and I can tell you, Chris, this much as well. During the 15-20 minutes that will pass between the fact that you have been rebuffed by the staff inside and when is it Tony's or Charles? I don't know whose car it is that rolls up. Maybe both. With the rest of the crew. All the cars that roll up.
Oh wait, no, we're taking the surveillance van. That's what we
Yeah.
were doing. That's the
Taking
plan.
the surveillance van. Between that and the arrival of the surveillance van, why do I have 2 dexes here? The rest of the crew will roll up, and it's going to be around 9 now. You have not seen any kindred entering.
Are you just standing out front?
no. I'll like. This is Chicago. Does Chicago have like parks? Is there like a park near here that I could wait and keep an eye on it and not be suspicious?
That is a good question. Let me have a look.
Or even like a restaurant or whatever, a public place.
We are, as a matter of fact, inside the loop. Okay, it's up there. No, there's no park. Okay, I'm gonna show you even. So,
Are you going to arouse the blood to blend in?
You're going to be close to the Chicago River. They have a lovely view out from this place out over the Chicago River. The diocese obviously had enough funds to get a small part of that. It's not cheap to be here. But as you can tell, there is no park nearby. You could be across the river and check things out. That would be the detective thing to do.
I guess I'll go up to Plaza.
Yep.
There might be like a public seat there I can sit down and not be overly suspicious. Plazas usually have like seats.
Yeah, you should probably be able to get away with that. All right, and so the surveillance van will pull up, and I'm going to actually have you roll, Chris. Why don't you roll a wits and awareness check? You do have heightened senses, so you can add your auspex to this.
Okay. Oh, all the love that you gave me.
Ah,
It
Are
was
there
a
people
lie.
around, Chris?
there are. It's 9 o'clock in the evening on the 3rd of July. It's a Wednesday evening. There's definitely going to be some people out. At this hour, the loop is getting empty because the business day is over. But on the other hand, all the restaurants and various establishments, most of the nightlife is not inside the loop, mind you. But even so, there's going to be some establishments in the loop as well. Certainly for catering to the yuppies who want to stay within the loop and have a business dinner, that sort of thing. So there's going to be some of those establishments. But the loop is generally a
right, I have a
less
question.
populated area than some other parts of town at this time.
All right, if you're like a yuppie and you're like hanging out with other yuppies, do you call it yupping it up?
They didn't do that, no. But they should have thought of that.
Yeah, they should have.
They should have.
Proof that they are a lower form of life.
Chris, you are 100% sure that you haven't missed anything. The only way anyone could have gotten past your surveillance from this side of the building, or even if you're concentrating and listening to the voices of children and the staff inside the orphanage, is with obfuscation. You're absolutely sure of this. Like, your beast is just locked in on this orphanage. And
Or they could come around from any of the other sides of the building that you can't see.
they could, but he would still hear if they come into the orphanage because of his heightened senses. So he could hear.
Isn't he hundreds of feet away?
He's
across the river.
He's across the river. How often do you go back across the river? You're a bit too far to hear things, but you can see things like you had binoculars.
Like seeing things with heightened sense makes a lot of sense. Hearing things?
Oh, yeah, it's
You're
maybe a little bit
in
too
a
much.
restaurant area trying to hear something hundreds of feet away in a different building.
And you know what? I think a harm compulsion makes all the senses right now, because
Okay.
you want to hurt someone, don't you?
Yes,
Very
and I
specific
want to hurt a very specific person.
Yeah. But that is not Charlie, Tony, Kate, or Dex, is it?
No.
So
Yeah.
they will roll up and find you somewhere along that place. You are rendezvousing, is what I'm saying. The coterie's the band is back together again.
I don't know whether we would find Chris.
Oh, I've got heightened senses, I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we would find you.
Chris
Yeah,
will find,
I'll walk up to you.
will find a coterie as you're
Yeah.
unloading the surveillance van.
I'm just imagining like
Wow.
I'm the one driving the van. Like you knock on the window and like I pull out a gun and I'm like, Diddy!
Pulls a gun, puts it under his chin instantly. Who are you? Okay, you got here quick. That's good. Have you noticed anything?
No, I haven't seen anybody, and I was watching I could only watch the main entrance. It's possible they went in by a side door or something.
Okay, they don't know we're here, hopefully. As long as we stay far from the building, it should work.
Yeah.
And if possible, we could do some clever tradecraft stuff, like angle ourselves so we can see the building. But if anybody sees us watching, it looks like we're looking past it at something else.
What the fuck?
So we're gonna do some stealth here, are we? Some investigation stealth, and everybody's paced out around the house, so you cover all the exits, I'm guessing. Why am I saying what you're doing? You were
Kate's kind of staying in the van with
Yeah.
the tech because that's what she's good at.
She is.
Tony, since he's driving, will use. Could I theoretically use stealth with my specialty in hiding for this one?
You are driving, right? So
Yeah. Would this be an intelligence stealth check?
I think this is more composure drive check, honestly, because you're driving casual and you don't want to attract police attention to the fact that you're driving around the orphanage lap after lap after lap. And yes, there are patrols down here because this is the loop. Or, yeah, basically the loop.
Oh. Shit.
I was imagining
Alright.
we would just park somewhere nearby.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's
On
why
an
I
empty
suggested.
road.
Oh, okay. Okay, you're parking
why I
somewhere
suggested-
nearby, and then where you're going, Tony.
I thought like for hiding someplace good,
Okay.
maybe.
Yeah, then you can
Stealth.
use your stealth hiding, absolutely. This is,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
literally trying to hide, aren't you?
Intelligence?
Because he's trying to find a good place to hide the van that's also usable for surveillance.
Oh, got you.
That's why he's trying to use
Yeah, okay,
intelligence.
sorry. Yes, I will. How about wits? That works too.
Yeah,
and
wits makes
stealth.
Yeah, all right.
Because this is not book reading, this is street smarts, right?
Intelligence is both, but
Intelligence is book reading more than. Yeah.
Oh, push
3
it.
successes is something, isn't it?
academia is book reading. Intelligence is intelligence.
Fair. 4 successes. You are very hidden. But Chris can still see you because he had 6 successes.
8 successes, actually.
I guess I can't find you guys.
He had 8. Oh my god. Nobody's coming past that. Yeah. Alright, where do you want to park Dex?
I thought Dex was in the passenger seat.
Okay, he's in the passenger seat. Charlie, where do you want to be?
Is the van close enough that I can use my heightened sensors to... Are we in range of heightened sensors?
What kind of heightened senses? If you want to listen in to the orphanage floor, I'd say that you have to be, like, within the same block at least. Like, in the same building. So you can hear the mice.
What does the building actually look like? Is it like a freestanding building, or is it in a row, or like how many floors? How high is it?
It's in the loop, so it's going to be like a 20, 30-story high building, and the orphanage itself is on one of the floors. It has a whole bunch of other offices there as
Bad
well.
place for an orphanage. Such a bad location.
What are you talking about? The Daiichi's...
For every conceivable reason, that putting an orphanage in an office building is a bad idea.
It's an excellent idea. They can get all
Alright, no, we have to
fundraisers.
stop right now. Hold on. Is this from like the actual book? Did they write this?
Nope.
Okay.
I
Mikhail,
think
what
this
are
is
you
a storyteller choice.
Okay. Yeah, Mikhail, what are you smoking, man?
Anyway.
Whatever it is, I want it.
Huh?
I want whatever you and Jan are having.
I don't usually do any drugs.
Yeah. Could have fooled me.
Charlie, where do you want to be?
Yeah, I'll move in close enough that I can use my heightened hearing, so that if somebody comes, I definitely know.
Did you want to be sneaky?
Yeah, I guess I will. So is that stealth and wits?
I guess it could be. Yep.
I'll blood surge this so I don't blow the whole operation right from the go. Can my Auspex help me get into position stealthily?
No.
I guess, yeah, I guess unswayable mind wouldn't help me either. So
No.
You motherfuckers say some shit that makes me question if you hear yourself speaking. Says Elduende.
That was a terrible stealth check.
definitely
wasn't it?
willpower in that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Okay.
Oh, much better.
That's much better. Yeah. Charlie is seeking for a good place to hide, and the first attempt just goes absolutely horrible as the night shift janitorial crew is just walking right into him, and he just has to go out again and go back in, and this time he's just, I'm gonna find a better place. And luckily the janitorial crew maybe just left the cleaning supplies storage room open for you to go into, and that's where you're hiding, because 4 successes is pretty good. Chris, have you rolled for sneaking yet? Are you in the van? Are you, yeah.
Okay, let's roll for. Do I have stealth? Did I give Chris stealth?
You have a little bit of
Let's see-
stealth. The lessest stealth. And you
Um,
don't get any negatives on your harm compulsion because you're specifically stealthying to jump the guy you want to destroy. And you have a lot of dexterity.
Can I
so-
instead roll athletics to climb into, I don't know, a top
No.
floor or something? to
No,
hide?
yeah, I mean, you could climb, but you're not going to be stealthy about it.
Okay, let's. I'll just do dexterity.
You'd have to be
stealth.
Spider-Man.
He is Spider-Man.
With celerity and. I
Peter,
guess,
why are you letting that guy fuck your wife?
Fleetness would help you, yes. If you activate it.
Yeah, why not? Sure,
Why not?
fuck it, I'm a vampire for a reason.
Exactly. All the blood surging. You're all gonna be like this close to actually frenzying because you're blood surging so much, and then you meet the vampire in question and everything goes south from there. It sounds very this coterie somehow. Doesn't it?
You know what? I'll just use celerity. I won't blood surge.
Yeah.
That's a. Right, no,
You
fair
have to
enough.
do a blood surge for your fleetness though.
All right, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll roll that now.
You have to blood surge for your fleet. Yeah, that's the word. Okay, there you go. So, you are hungrier. You're quite hungry, but you're also very quiet, thanks to the power of Cain's blood not coursing through your veins, existing in your veins. You are as quiet as a cat in the night. Shadows will not notice as you're passing by. You're quieter than anyone else here, aren't you? All right. So the stakeout starts. Hear what I say? Stakeout. See what? Anyway, stake out. Stake. Okay. Did anyone bring stakes?
No.
I was thinking, yeah, since we know what we're here to do, we would have brought stakes, and Charlie will have his machete with him as well as the guns.
Very well.
I'm thinking if it comes to it, we can just lop this guy's legs off and then he can't run off.
How's the search for Gokonda going?
It's going great. It's going great.
Yeah. Your ass is never getting into Golconda.
It's almost there. It's just almost there.
Oh yeah, because of the blood magic that Kate has now, any mess of blood we spill, she can just make it stand up into a homunculus and just walk out with us when we leave.
That's definitely not how that works, but I'm not going to correct it. Kate is going to set up the surveillance tech and recording devices.
Yep.
So that's what she's going to be doing in the van. Do you want me to roll for that, or?
Feel free to, yes. That's all the successes. You have cameras, binoculars. I don't know if you want to actually take pictures of the perpetrator.
We do.
You have shotgun microphones. You have everything rigged. It's just so ready to go.
And she sits in
Is
for the
it with-
stakeout,
Yep.
which is normally done from the van. She's not quite sure why everyone has walked out of the van.
But
I
we
haven't.
have.
I'm in the van with you.
That's good.
Say, everyone. Damn.
Yeah, and Dex is there too. Then. It's going to take hours of sitting and being bored at whatever location you are. But yeah, clock is ticking. Just you can see on the dashboard of the van, Tony. It's getting later and later. The loop is getting emptier and emptier. Nothing in particular going on. Everything is very normal here. Or it was. It used to be. And now it's not normal anymore. It's you're here for a particular reason, and it's not the reason you want to be here. It's going to be around midnight, which is an interesting time to choose for this. When, let's see. How about the wits and awareness checks here for people who are looking? I'm gonna use your technology intelligence check for Kate here, but for the rest of you all.
Awareness, wits awareness.
And yes, heightened senses does apply.
Did I just roll compulsions, man?
Nope,
You may not have failed.
you may not have failed. Look at that. Okay, all of you, that means, will succeed. But Kate is the one who succeeds first because you had 6 successes on your technology setup. And you're gonna... I don't know how you might react to this. You're gonna see someone walking down the street in the open, like, not trying to hide themselves at all. Ruffled suit, ruffled hair, hands opening and closing all the time, very nervously and twitchy. Definitely not someone who is in control of themselves, or shall we say, rather someone of sound mind. Let's say sound mind, yeah. And it's gonna turn out to be Mr. Neely.
I knew it. I knew he was wrong. I was suspecting him from the moment he disappeared. When he was in the prince's thing before me, I was suspicious of him then because how did he get there that fast?
Kate's gonna just take the photos and recordings just to make sure that she's got evidence of this, and then tell the others that Neely's just arrived on scene.
Just
be careful.
Everyone over communications devices, radios. You have little.
Tony, when he sees Mr. Neely, has his mouth open for a sec, like in shock. Just what the fuck is he doing?
Kate's just gonna take one headphone off and just be like, "Okay, Neely's there. We need to make sure that no one disturbs him before he gets to the orphanage.
Maybe he's here. Just
He could be going after any other person in that building, but if he gets off on that floor, we know it's him."
Tony, are we jumping to conclusions and just frenzying immediately?
No.
Tony's smart.
Yeah. The way Tony sees it is if he frenzies, goes crazy, and just jumps to conclusions, he might not be able to kill the guy he really wants to kill.
Yeah. Once everyone is... Actually, yeah, like, walkie-talkies are a thing.
Yeah, walkie-talkies are a thing.
She's just going to give everyone walkie-talkies. That's part of the setup.
And everybody has probably like an earpiece, because earpieces exist in 1991, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Tony having potence, I'm gonna say that at this point, the the wheel of the van is like a little bit broken at this point from Tony's.
He's crumpled it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kate's just going to send to everyone, just saying, Seneschal's arrived. Until he enters the Haven, no one is to interfere.
I want everyone to roll. You haven't actually seen him do anything bad yet. Right now, you're just suspecting that he is behind all this, right?
Yeah, he hasn't done anything frenzy-worthy just yet.
Okay.
We're suspicious of him, though.
He's going into the door that leads to the office building where there's the dentist, the doctor, all the other sort of medical facilities that exist nearby here. There might even be social
there's
services.
like a dozen different businesses that he could be drinking from. It doesn't necessarily need to be the orphanage. It could just be a coincidence.
It could
but
be
I
a
doubt
coincidence. He's going into the door that leads to all those businesses. It's a nice shiny door with office building and directory on the wall and the whole 9 yards. And he's going to the elevator and he's gonna go up there and you're gonna.
Yeah, she's just gonna say he's entered the lobby. Someone watch to see what floor it stops at.
Yeah. Chris is pretty good at sneak. He doesn't seem to have seen any of you at this stage. I have rolled. You don't know what he knows. Maybe he noticed you and just plays cool about it.
But once he's in the elevator, he doesn't really have an opportunity to surveil the lobby. So
no,
right now you could just see above the elevator, like what floor it's stopping at.
And you know what? It's stopping at the orphanage floor.
Fuck.
Okay. Okay, the lion has caught 4K.
Maybe he was sent here by Lodin to clean things up after you guys discovered stuff yesterday night.
The only thing to clean up would be Becky, and the sheriff has her.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, the only physical evidence would be Becky, and she's already in the prince's custody.
Yep.
Yeah, so I guess the second fucking whoever sees which floor he's on radios that in, Tony exits the car and just starts walking aggressively towards the building.
Jan, are you passing that on?
Yeah.
All right.
Charlie?
Okay.
He stopped at the orphanage.
Okay.
Coming with Dex is coming with Tony, unless you say otherwise.
Oh, obviously, yeah, no.
He's Dex bringing sawed-off shotgun and a really big pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Yeah, Kate's calling the sheriff.
Okay. Charlie, Chris, what are you guys
doing? We
doing?
can't kill the seneschal, and all of you guys are bringing in dragonfire rounds. I know you are.
Look, I just want to have a talk with him first, okay?
Yeah, okay, you talk without the dragonfire rounds?
Yeah, we can talk about the dragonfire rounds, okay? But just
hold your shotgun. Yeah, she's gonna try to call through while she's staying behind for a minute. If she doesn't get through, she's just gonna head up with everyone else.
Let's see how lucky you are. Not lucky enough.
Okay. Tony will say that to Dex. We're gonna try to get the seneschal without firing a shot first. The shotguns are just backup. Got that, Dex?
Yes, boss.
Bringing area effect firearms into an orphanage situation is
terrible idea.
Insane. This isn't a gangland. Like, the second he steps within 5 feet of any of the humans in there, you cannot fire that weapon.
Good thing I have a regular pistol too.
Charlie and Chris, you are actually inside the building. when
Oh,
this is happening, so I'm gonna give you a chance to get there first if you
okay.
want to.
I'll try to. I'm a pretty good athlete, so I'll try to go up the stairs faster than like his the elevator.
Oh, you're
Like
going to
he's in
try
the
to meet
elevator.
him on your own at the elevator.
No, I'm just trying to get up there as fast as I can.
Are you activating fleetness?
Sure.
It lasts for the entire scene.
No,
oh
actually,
yeah, it's a new
I
scene.
won't-
That's fair. Yep.
I won't activate fitness. I'll just go up as like human.
All right, I'm gonna have you roll dexterity athletics, which is excellent for you. What do we need you to roll to get there first? I don't feel like it's terribly hard because unlike humans, you don't get lactic acid. So, where am I? What am I looking at? I'm looking at there. Okay, so difficulty level, how about 4? You have 7. Okay. Challenging, but not more than that.
How you do?
Let's roll and see.
Dex-
You needed one more die to be able to get there before him by taking half. But here we are.
One. What did I get? Do I need to re-roll?
Let's see, what did you get? You got 3 successes. You need one more, yeah.
I don't think he was trying to beat Neely there. I think he was just
Okay.
trying to beat us there.
Okay, you're beating them.
No, there. That's 4.
then.
I was trying to get there before him so I could like make sure, just watch him to make sure he doesn't kill anybody.
Okay.
So you are trying to beat Neely there.
Yeah.
No, he's not only trying to beat Neely, he's also trying to stay around Neely without Neely knowing.
Yeah.
In this small floor.
It's big enough to hold an orphanage, so it can't be that small.
The level outside with the elevator.
The level of
so, yeah.
confidence in your stealth abilities is truly staggering.
Look, I want to do a cool thing where I like step out of the shadows and say, "Not
If you
so fast."
succeed, this will be very cool.
Jan, I'm jealous of how confident you are in everything you do. It's insane. How do you do it?
It's inspiring.
It
It's
really
because
is
it's a game.
inspiring.
And we're just supposed to have fun, and nothing's really that serious.
I know, but still, it's hilarious though how much like this Chad energy you bring into this.
Yeah,
It's like, I see
Jan
like, the shit
gets
you
to the
do in this
door
game.
before the elevator arrives.
Yep. He does.
Oh wait, no, he wouldn't be able to,
What?
because he needed to confirm what floor it stopped at, which means it needs to already be at that floor.
That's fair. Yes. I need
Okay, so-
coffee. Gee.
I just get as fast. I get up there in whatever amount of time 4 successes take.
Yeah, you get up there very quickly.
if you were
You will
running
get up there
you would
faster than
assume-
anyone else, basically. Obviously.
If you were running up, you would at least assume you needed to get to the floor with the orphanage, because if he was going to any other floor, it wouldn't be the same level of urgency.
Exactly.
You could have started ahead of him and tried to beat him there. If he's going somewhere else,
No, that would be retconning too much. I ran up once I saw he was at the orphanage. I ran up as fast. That's what would have happened.
Yeah, you called it in and ran up.
Yep. So, you're going to be basically just outside the elevator, in front of the door leading into the orphanage at midnight. You're going to be first on the scene, unless Charlie wants to get there.
yeah, Charlie will be coming there. He won't be out anywhere visible, but he'll be close enough with his speed he can rush in and move by surprise if needed. And because he's got heightened senses, he can hear Chris coming. So we'll try and let him deal with it first if he can.
So he's not activating fleetness.
Which means that I'm going to give Chris a chance to have a chat with Mr. Neely first. Mr. Neely is, in fact, standing... You're running up the stairs. I think the door to the orphanage will be ajar when you get up there, Chris.
I thought it was the door.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You're running up the stairs because you looked at
Okay,
the
that was
elevator
just a
counter.
joke for
Then you
myself.
run up the stairs to get there, and as you get there, the door to the orphanage is slightly ajar, or is no, it's going to be closed. You can't see Neely
Oh.
anywhere.
Okay.
He was making a joke about calling a door ajar.
Oh, I'm sorry. But you can hear him inside. You can hear something. Like you can hear
Okay,
him
I'll
speaking
I'll
to.
open the door. Just
Yeah,
because I
he's
don't want to.
standing right there with the doorman, who is like the orderly, and he is looking into the orderly's eyes and says, "You will take this pill and you will eat it." And the orderly does that, and then he hears you, and he turns around, and yeah, he's
Good luck.
Do I get
he's just
to say something to
standing.
him?
He's just standing at you, and he's standing there looking at you, and there is shock and fear as he sees you.
Mr. Neely, let me tell you a story about a small man.
First, Mr.
100
Keller, you want to do harm to this guy because that's what your compulsion says.
Yes,
You-
but
Yeah, okay.
I want to tease him a bit first.
Yeah, but do you go into an anger frenzy before you have a chance to do that? That's the question.
Oh, do I? I really want to role play intimidation with this guy.
I
but-
know,
Okay,
I
I'll
know.
try. I tried to resist frenzy.
But
That's what the resist roll is for.
does
Yeah.
you exactly? Chris Keller right now is convinced that that Neely has embraced an orphan in this orphanage. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes.
I will resist
I would like
frenzy.
you to roll a resist frenzy against a difficulty of 2.
Okay, we'll see what happens. If I fight him, I'm not too bad. It's just I missed the
You take a negative because of the compulsion.
one success. I guess I frenzy.
You go frenzy when you see him. You're like, yes! Ah! Okay, and you,
I don't
you
think
don't
I'd
even,
ever say that.
I don't know. What are you saying?
Die, motherfucker!
Yeah, that makes sense. Why isn't it active now as frenzy? I don't know. Give it. There we go. Okay. You're not riding the wave. You're just jumping him, which is also bad. So I guess everything escalated from there.
How many rounds away is the next nearest person?
That is a good question, isn't it?
Because
Uh,
I think
Andrews.
I
Charlie
think
is
the
the
people
next
in the
nearest.
van are crossing the street right now.
Yeah,
like,
basically. And Charlie
We're not
is,
even in the building yet.
No. Charlie is the next nearest person, and he's... How fast are you with your dex and athletics and fleetness and everything? Oh, you don't even have fleetness, but you have blink.
That's better.
Yeah. So it really depends on how much you want to, Charlie, how quickly you want to move there.
Yeah, I think
Your heightened senses here, die, motherfucker.
Die,
yeah, I
mother...
think
Ah!
I'm gonna have to blink and get there fast.
You probably do.
That's so fucking funny. You just hear like a muffled "die, motherfucker."
It's not even die, motherfucker. It's die, mother... Then just lose yourself completely to the beast. Because that's what we do around here, isn't it? When the beast comes over us. You are just absolutely
Come
storming.
over us.
Yeah. It's...
Oh no!
Takes...
Not
it's-
in the orphanage.
Oh my god.
I
Anyway.
think Kate's the only person who's ever deliberately rode the wave of frenzy. in this
Let's
campaign.
see. Composure awareness for deciding who is faster, which in this case is 4 for Chris Keller. Neely has less than that.
Yes.
But he's older.
So he's a venture. He probably has a few dots of fortitude. I'm already frenzying. It's not looking. do any mind stuff on me, I'll probably just beat him to it with his own head.
Er. So,
I like the
Chris,
confidence.
you will absolutely just jump him, fangs out and you're like in the lobby of the orphanage now. So the dominated orderly is basically just getting his shot of morphine or whatever it is that Neely is doing to him. And you are doing this. So the moment he has done his thing, the orderly's going to be very scared and run away. Let's go. How much are you going to hurt this guy? With your dexterity brawl, or are we using something else?
I'll use dexterity brawl because I'm frenzying and don't have the time to pull out my machete.
That makes sense. So just punch Neely in the face, in other words.
Yeah. I think it's probably been a good 50 years since he was punched in the face.
Probably. He will have to roll a rare frenzy as well, because he's being attacked by...
Does that get rid of my harm compulsion?
It will, provided that you actually hurt him. He is going to...
He's going to have to roll very well.
He's going to have to roll very well here, yes.
I mean,
He's also like a person of the government. Like, he is very strong.
He's not that strong, he's a Ventru. He's
You're a fledgling! You're a fledgling. He's the second in line to the prince.
He's max maybe 120 years old.
That's still old enough to beat your ass, neonate.
You don't become a seneschal by being weak.
This is going great.
Oh my god, this guy is rolling
I
twice.
guess that was his frenzy check.
I haven't done that one yet. You know what? You are actually hitting him and doing damage. 3 points of superficial damage on a Ventru. Is it rounded down or up again? I don't remember. It's rounded down, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's, you know.
I guess his fortitude doesn't kick in.
Maybe that's like counting his
Subtracted from all... Okay, oh, no. Yeah. You just lunge at him and you just try to smack... I need to account for his fortitude as well. So you are bashing away at him as much as you possibly can, and he is... I don't think that he's even gonna... He's just gonna take it, basically, and just try to grab you. And he will succeed in grabbing you. Not that you are caring too much about that right now, but because it's gonna take a while for Charlie to get up there, how quickly does Charlie get up there? What kind of difficulty on the dexterity athletics check do we want to give him to get up there? Hard difficulty if he was on the ground floor or a couple of floors
How many
away?
stories is it?
It's a handful.
It does matter.
If I roll a rouse check to activate blink, does that make it easy to get up here quick?
It does make it much easier, yeah. It's covering any
imagine
distance
you
under
just-
50 meters while still having enough to perform an action. Okay, I'm gonna allow you to get because we do rule of cool stuff here, so if you activate your blink, you're gonna be there this turn and just see them engaged us.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'll do that. I didn't even get hungrier.
You're so
Boom,
lucky.
you just
so far.
appear in there's probably going to be some papers flying as you move this fast, and you're going to appear and see Chris in a frenzy and Neely holding him off, and that's going to be like your action for this turn. So I guess it's Chris's turn. You're restrained. You need to break the restraint, Chris.
Is my mouth free?
Yes, it is. So you're gonna try
gonna
to
bite
bite him. I'm gonna give you -4 on that, because that's as many successes I had on his roll and dexterity, I guess.
It's also -1 to bite. just base.
Okay, there you go. He's holding you off, basically. Obviously, the harm compulsion is not going to impede you because you're actively trying to harm him.
But you do get the 2 bonus dice from the frenzy.
Yes, you do.
That's difficulty 5.
Yeah, I think that's what we make it.
If he's not fighting back because he wants to hurt you this turn, then yeah, difficulty 5.
Difficulty 5.
Chris, Jan, get rolling.
Three successes.
Let's re-roll.
Oh, you really want to give in to the beast here, don't you?
Can you reroll while willpower with
You
frenzy?
cannot. No,
Oh, whatever.
I don't think.
It just because it's a lack of will, right?
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
So
You it's just the pure instinct happening. Pure frenzy. Can spend a willpower point to assume control, but may not use willpower to reroll dice.
Okay.
So you're trying to get your teeth. So you're trying to bite and drink from the seneschal of Chicago, Chris. This is great, and you do not have a life boon from the prince.
Care?
I know. Charlie, you're up. What are you gonna do?
I'm frenzying. I had this cool detective monologue planned in my mind by frenzy, so I'm doing this
Yep.
instead.
So what will it take for Chris to get out of frenzy?
He tries to achieve the frenzy remains until he achieves his goal or until the scene ends.
Okay.
is his goal to harm Neely, or
Yes,
is his goal to
clearly.
take Neely out?
I don't know. Probably harm. That's the simplest.
Are Neely and Chris grappling on the ground, or are they sitting
No,
stood
they're
up?
standing up. They're standing up, and just Neely is holding on to Chris's arms, and Chris is trying to bite down on Neely's neck or any body part that he can get to, arm, neck, whatever. And
You see the RA standing next to them, slowly swallowing a pill.
Exactly.
Okay, so I think it's safety first here to protect the orphans. Can Charlie just like rugby tackle them both and shove them back out the door into the hallway?
You can always try. Strength and brawl, because it's a tackling or a grappling. I'll allow you to do that.
Yeah.
I think that's
And I've
going
got
to
a
be...
special.
I'm just going to use, because you're doing it this way, I'm just going to use a difficulty level. Would it be, what do we associate this with? Challenging, hard, or very hard to complete this?
This is 5 successes minimum.
There we go. 5 successes. Let's go. I'll accept that.
Yeah,
Charlie?
you're trying to overpower 2 vampires. One of them is very old, the other one is frenzying.
Yep.
I'm blood
Yeah,
surging
it's
it, and I'm
100.
using my grappling.
About
Yes, you are.
You got
Very old. In Constantinople, he'd be considered
Oh,
a teen.
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was awful. We are going with willpower.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay, wait a minute. Before you do that, Charlie, aren't you also very angry with Neely? Because of his whole thing here? Maybe you should roll a
yeah, on
resist
one-
frenzy check.
One hand,
It's only a
I'll
difficulty
roll
too.
on the other hand, though, because we've already seen Neely lose it, and we know there's something's wrong with him, and he may be like getting mentally manipulated.
Okay.
Would that take enough of the murder frenzy out of Charlie?
I don't think Charlie has a compulsion right now, does he?
No, he doesn't have a compulsion. Okay, I'll give you that.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
3 successes. You are barreling into these 2 vampires. It's now a pile of vampires.
Pile of vampires all trying to square dance together.
Yeah, pretty much. You just dunk into both of them, and Chris will try to get you out of there eventually. But Neely is going to try to lock onto Chris's eyes, which is difficult to do in combat, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's -2 for combat. And you
I
get...
don't think there's a penalty for combat, but there is a penalty because of the frenzy.
Yeah, he gets 3 extra dice for his resistance. But I do believe there is a extra difficult to do it in combat. So let's see now. Dominate. Dominate turns. No, that wasn't there.
I don't think there is.
Catching
'Cause
the eyes.
We used dominate during the opera fight, both me and
Yeah, that's
Sylvester,
fair.
without
Okay.
penalties.
I forgot about that. And he is not trying to avoid the gaze. So let's just do this. You get 3 extra dice on your resistance.
I think, even though I'm frenzying, would I still be smart enough to try to avoid the gaze?
No, because you're frenzying, so you can't control yourself that
Oh.
much. Unless you want to spend a willpower for that, because that's what it requires.
You'd have to do it on his turn.
Yeah.
Point. Yeah, you're gonna roll intelligence resolve, Chris, and you get 3 extra dice because of the frenzy.
Okay. He's still going to control me. But whatever.
He's gonna
He's
The
try.
Seneschal of Chicago.
So what?
If he can't
Chicago
control
is-
a fledgling, he shouldn't be the Seneschal of Chicago.
Chicago is not even the best city in America.
It's a city.
Didn't do the rouse check.
What did you say? What's the roll again? I completely forgot because...
Intelligence plus resolve plus 3.
When you can do this.
He can't do it. I'm hoping he fails because,
Because of drama.
yeah.
You have 4
To be fair,
successes.
he still may have failed. Most likely.
You are the defending party, are you not? Yes, you are.
Yes.
That means that you have failed.
But defender wins.
No,
Nope.
not in this
Okay.
system.
Not in this system.
Oh.
That's the year 0 system you're thinking about. No. He will give you the command to... He can't say until. So... Spend 15 minutes standing absolutely still. And that's going to work, which is also the end of the combat.
Wait, stand absolutely still means I can still attack him if he's because he's
No,
standing right next to
absolutely
me.
still means you can't move your arms. Or
No,
your
he said
legs.
stand absolutely still. He didn't
Yep.
say anything about my arms.
Like,
Still
No.
is a condition.
what was that?
Still is the entire body.
Yeah, still is the
He said-
entire body.
stand absolutely still. That
Don't move
The
anything
the only
for 15
qualifier
minutes.
is
Like,
I don't
just
think he can put a time
freeze.
frame on it.
Freeze for
Yeah.
15 minutes.
I don't think he can put a time frame because the time frame requires cognition.
Must not contain any conditional actions. You can't say if, then what? Oh, exercise.
For example,
cognition.
freeze until time.
Yeah,
can't
he can't
say that.
Yeah, no, he can't say that.
But he can say flee the building.
He can't say that. Why is Mesmer... Okay, it's gonna be complex commands. Flee the building,
yeah, if
walk
he's got
around
the
the
higher
entire
tier
block.
version,
He can say like
yeah,
this.
if he's got the higher tier version, he can do what he wants.
He can say, leave the building, walk around the entire block, and walk around the entire block. That he can do.
okay.
Because he can do complex commands, but he can't do conditionals.
Okay, I guess I'll start doing that.
Yeah, you'll just...
Does he say right now?
Oh yeah, right now.
Oh, right.
So,
He did say
obviously.
You don't get to do it in a week.
No, you don't get to do it right now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not in 3 to 5 business days.
In 3 to 5 business days, you can leave the...
Yeah, he can't say stand absolutely still. He's like, I will in a week's time, and I'll
in a
continue
week's
to attack.
time. So that leaves us with Chris coming out of the building, just as Kate and Tony are coming into and Dex are coming into the building, and Chris is in a weird state, as it were, because he's just been dominated. And now Charlie is alone with Neely and the orderly, who is sitting down behind the desk and turning towards the telephone. And Neely is immediately going to just swing around and look at the orderly and tell him to put the phone down and go stand in a corner. And then he's going to rip out the phone cord. Unless Charlie stops him in some way.
No, I'm not really going to stop him from doing that, because that kind of needs to happen. And Charlie will just, to take advantage of the surprise that Neely must be feeling here now, he's just going to put his hand on Neely's shoulder and say, "We need to leave now, we need to talk." And we'll just try and steer him out of the orphanage and out of the building.
Yeah, he's just like nodding and coming with you. Yes, that's a good idea. And Charlie, you have...
And just as we're coming down, Charlie will get on the walkie-talkie and radio the others coming out with Neely, just so that both they know what's about to happen, and so Neely knows to expect more people, so that nothing will escalate as soon as they see each other.
I think that's up to Tony, but yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm assuming that we're coming up the stairs at that point as you're coming down the stairs. Because I don't think you want to be trapped in an elevator with Neely.
What? Isn't that your favorite thing to be? Right now?
It's Charlie's choice.
Are you going to be trapped in an elevator with Neely or not, Charlie?
Since I've still got heightened senses, if I can hear them coming up the stairs, we'll go down the stairs to meet them.
Very well. Yes, you can. So I guess we're gonna...
When Chris was told to go walk around the building, would he have taken the stairs or the elevator?
There was no exact instruction. I guess take the stairs because it takes longer. So yeah, Chris is just walking down and coming out and...
He didn't say it take as long as possible. I was going to say Chris jumps out the window, but whatever.
Do you want to take it like that?
Right?
Oh no, because Dominate, unless he's got Terminal Decree, can't convince you to hurt yourself.
No, he
or
can't.
risk
Okay,
your
so
life.
Chris just decided on his own terms.
Yeah, Chris can decide on his own to do that, but it won't break the compulsion.
No, but whatever. How many floors are we up?
Do you want to die?
I'm
you
still
are...
a kid. How many floors are up?
You are 3 floors up.
I'll go down by the stairs. It's too high too.
Yeah, that's knees and rib cage territory.
Yes.
Yep.
I don't have fortitude.
So you're saying you would do that if you had fortitude? Okay, whatever, Chris.
We would all do it if we had
Being
fortitude.
a vampire, unless you occasionally do crazy stuff.
I would use fortitude because that's just risky. I would use weight of a feather, but
Charlie and Neely will meet Tony, Dex, and Kate in the stairwell. And
at which point she's just gonna pull out a camera and take a photo of Neely.
And he's gonna raise his hand and, what are you doing?
What were you doing in the
Evidence.
It's not my choice that I do this. I can't seem to control myself anymore. The beast in me has risen. This is one of the latest... Please don't judge me by what I do. My actions don't reflect my true spirit. I don't know what's come over me. I must learn to control myself before...
Did you embrace Becky?
He's gonna look down on the floor. I need to control myself before I get destroyed or I drive myself mad. Yes, I did. I didn't want to.
Oh, right then. Frenzy check.
At which
Frenzy
point,
check.
Kate's gonna try to put a hand on Tony and just, with what non-existent strength 3 has, put pressure on his shoulder and say, "The prince needs to deal with this."
Yeah, before you get the chance to do that, let's see what happens. Okay, then.
Okay, then.
Okay. In that case, then, Tony fucking growls at him and then just says, he just says nothing and just nods.
Listen, I don't want to do this. I never wanted to do this. This isn't me. It's the beast, he says.
Yeah. He's just gonna look over and just like, "My friend here is showing an incredible amount of restraint. You and I and the rest of us are all going to see Prince Lodin now. Understood?"
If a vampire has to swallow, then he will swallow.
We're not here to judge your actions. We do, but it is not our job to enforce the law. Becky is already in Lodin's custody.
He's clearly struggling with this, but
Are you going to maintain your station and come willingly, or not? Face this with dignity and character, like you claim to have.
I don't. I will come with you. I will come
Correct
with you.
choice. Tony, you should mind him. And then she starts heading down the stairs. Mainly because Tony's the only one who could possibly go and actually inflict damage in the current situation.
Yeah, no, Tony is just completely silent but shaking with anger.
Kate's very happy, very impressed by that. It's very nice to see you able to show restraint, even if it wasn't deliberate.
And so it is that the entire entourage will go to meet with Prince Lodin in
We
Lodin's
wait a
office.
second to collect Chris
Yes,
as he gets
obviously,
around the block.
who will no longer be in frenzy. But you didn't actually harm Neely. Neely doesn't have a scratch anyone can see, which may have something to do with Chris trying to attack an elder. Turns out they're not that easy to fight.
Feels easy to kill. They would be dead already.
They would be dead already, yes. And this is a Ventru elder, so the whole punching holes in that guy is probably harder. The prince might not be... Oh, look at that! The prince is immediately available tonight. I'm thinking he might have... Yeah, he might have heard about the whole Becky situation by now from the sheriff. And I think that is an excellent place to pause the current story. And it is short here. I'm just going to say that while Lodin is going to listen to your evidence very carefully, we don't have to... Oh, we're going to play that out. Absolutely. So
Yeah,
we'll get
like,
back to that in a week from now, as you are going to present the evidence for Prince Lodin. And Neely's going to stand there, and you have, like, literally taken pictures with your camera. You have all the surveillance.
Like, we have, like, recordings of him entering the building.
Yes.
And of him, like, with the frame of the St. Mary's in the background.
You have evidence.
Bro is caught in 4K.
Yeah.
300p or 400p. Whatever the resolution is back now.
You have small enough recording equipment that you could have had a recorder on you and got his confession in the staircase.
It's like something Kate would do, but I will leave that up to storyteller's discretion. Especially since Charlie did warn us that he was coming down.
Indeed. And we're obviously going to do a raid on...
Raiding time.
Yeah. Illusion Horror Con presents realistic character developments for horror RPGs. We like Illusion Horror around here. We'll support them with a short raid. And thank you everyone for watching and tuning in. And we will get back to Chicago in a week from now, when I'm sure Neely will still be Seneschal and not staked to the sun for any reason, because he has broken the tradition of, at least the tradition of the embrace, unless he had permission from the prince to embrace a new vampire. But in that case, he's still done something bad by choosing a kid of that young age, because that's not cool at all.
This is so messed up that father and daughter can end up staked together on the roof.
That could happen. Yes, that could happen. Though,
To be fair, there's more possible results than just death.
there are more possible results, and if Kate would know, being a political animal, that it's going to take a lot for Lodin to condemn Neely to final death, because it would be such a hard blow to Lodin to lose his seneschal.
Especially right now when he looks like he doesn't control the city.
Exactly. So he's probably going to try to do everything but that, but a blood bond is not out of the question, is it?
Yeah, that or some sort of life boon to him.
Yes,
Certainly.
that could be too. So, see you all next week, everyone.